Letter carriers are community service champions. Service has always been central to the letter carrier mission beyond delivering the mail, and their ongoing charitable efforts have distinguished them as proud stewards of their communities. NALC's earliest charitable effort is its partnership with the Muscular Dystrophy Association dating back to 1952. It marked the beginning of what would become a proud letter carrier tradition, with NALC becoming MDA's first national sponsor. For more than 70 years, NALC has remained faithful to its commitment, raising more than $1 million each year through countless special events. Letter carriers, delivering the cure in the fight against muscular dystrophy. Nearly every day, there's a letter carrier whose vigilance prevents what could have been a perilous situation, or whose kind deed makes the difference in someone's life. To recognize their extraordinary service, NALC honors its heroes and humanitarians at an annual ceremony in Washington, D.C.
Oftentimes, we are the first to realize that something is not right. And we're also often the first to step up and provide some level of help or assistance. So today we're here to honor some very special letter carriers that have been selected as NALC's Heroes of the Year.
For more than a decade, Ernest Twomley, David Correa, Heriberto Rodriguez, and Daniel Weber of New York Branch 36 have performed random acts of kindness in New York City. What began with a plan to bring cheer to a young cancer patient has evolved into a 501c3 that works with children, homeless women, and hospice patients. They call themselves the better angels of our human nature.
You get to know the people, and you know who needs and who don't need. And that's what we're about. Random acts of kindness.
So it's not just about, collecting toy drives for kids or doing something it's the human bond. And nowadays, that's something that is needed. Just touch somebody's life and, a hug, conversation.
You're delivering the mail, but you're also delivering something else, and it's special. You're delivering yourselves.
National Humanitarian of the Year, Harry Bittner of Camden, New Jersey, Merged Branch 540, has raised money for those in need for the last 4 years. Harry plays Christmas benefit concerts from the back of a trailer, along with his cover band, Unglued. And even more remarkable, Harry did all of this while fighting and surviving stage 4 cancer.
It's just really rewarding. You see these people just move to tears, like they wouldn't have really been able to provide a very good Christmas for their kids, without some help.
2024 National Hero of the Year, Philip Moon of Amarillo, Texas, Branch 1037, fought off a pit bull that was mauling one of his customers and her 2 dogs. He then used his shirt to compress her wounds, ultimately saving her life.
From what was going on, I think she would have been killed, yeah. I don't see that dog backing down. I don't see where she had any defense.
There's one thing that's always constant with these heroes is they don't think what they did was any big deal. And I think that very much exemplifies the spirit that the city carriers that we were privileged to represent display day in, day out.
For more than 30 years, NALC has organized the largest single-day food drive in the nation, impacting millions of people every year. More than 1.9 billion pounds of food have been collected nationwide since Stamp Out Hunger began in 1992. But the pandemic had a significant effect on Stamp Out Hunger.
But over the last 2 years, as we've tried to rebound from the impact of the pandemic, we have collected a significantly lower amount, roughly about half of what we collected prior to the pandemic. We all know that despite the difficulty we've faced, the need in our communities has not changed. People still need help. So it's more important than ever that we work together to restock America's food banks starting this Saturday.
With this challenge in mind, NALC branches renewed their commitment to making this year's drive better than ever. One particularly successful food drive is conducted by the members of Detroit Branch 1, who have cultivated community partnerships throughout the Motor City for decades. To say that they pull out all the stops is an understatement.
It gives back to the community. We are community service people. We are selfless service people. We're out here every day because we know who needs, who wants, and who can give.
So over 30 years, we've been doing it. It started off small, but now it's nationwide, and I think we do a good job of it. You know, and we're not looking for the accolades, but all we're looking for is those shelves down at the gleaners to be full.
Yes.
And we can go,
And saying it's
job well done.
Branch 1 here and several of the surrounding branches have had this kickoff event. They take it to a whole nother level. They have a parade, they bring out leadership from the city and from the Postal Service, and make a really big deal of it, which translates directly into the amount of food that we pick up.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here on Food Drive Day. You know this is a pre-event to Saturday. So are we all ready to collect food? Yes. We started back in the 90s, very small, and we've just built on that. So each year it gets bigger and better, and we're really proud of what we do here. We have a parade. It's police escorted. We've worked really close with our partners in the city, the mayor's office and the Detroit Police Department, and they provide our escort service to the food bank with about, I don't know, anywhere from 75 to 100 postal vehicles can be in it. But we use a lot of our relationships that we've built in other areas of what we do in leadership. And get all the right people in the right place to pull all this together. The carriers are great, the stewards and the leadership in the field, postal management, everybody just, you know, we kind of forget our titles today and we just roll up our sleeves and get the work done. We're proud of our community, we're proud of our neighbors.
The National Association of Letter Carriers annual food drive, the simplest drive ever. All we do is
we don't mind moving the food, but we rely on the media to make sure that the public knows about making the donation, because we can't pick it up if somebody doesn't set it outside of their mailbox. And then when we partnered with Gleaners, who is our big food bank in the Tri-County area, and they have a lot of media contacts from different things they do year round.
So here's what it comes down to. Are we ready to have the biggest food drive in the world? All right, 32 years of trust and hope and a promise of a better tomorrow, and what makes this work is you. That's what makes this work.
The special events are the ones when somebody shows up at your office and they want to do something that's completely for somebody else. And this is why I love what the National Association of Letter Carriers has done on this food drive. It's an enormous logistical challenge.
We know where the need is. We see it every day. We look into the eyes of hunger every single day. And single-handedly, we couldn't do a thing about it. But collectively, we're gonna make a big difference come this Saturday.
I heard over and over and over about how wonderful and how unbelievable, and any other adjective you can think of, the food drive kickoff was in Detroit. Most importantly, all those adjectives they used, they undersold it. This is awesome. Phenomenal. You know, I've been to Detroit lots of times, and I've had the pleasure of being here at Branch 1 a few times, and I've always been very encouraged just by the spirit of the people, of our members here, of the letter carriers, and I think that spirit is turned up to 11 today, and it's permeated way beyond just us out there in our blue uniforms.
Branch 1 is going, you know, we're going to knock it out the ballpark. That's just what we do. And we have a core group of people that we know we can depend on. And then everybody else just fall in the, they can't help it. It's like it's contagious. It's a contagious thing. And so that's why Branch 1 does so well, because just like rumors can be contagious, goodness is contagious. It's not always what you say, it's what you do. And this is one day that we can really feel proud about giving back to our community.
When you're out there 6 and 7 days a week, 8 and 10 and 12 hours a day, you become part of that community, and that community becomes part of you. And this is one day out of the year where we can say, let us help you make a difference. So you just have you have to use all of your ties, all of your connections, all of your relationships, anything that you had before going on. Call them, ask them for help, see what they can add to it for you. The carriers love it. We involve family, we involve friends, we involve churches, we involve different youth groups, anybody who really wants to come out. But these carriers here, it'll be dark before they're actually all wrapped up and they can all go home. Anybody who wants to do it can do it. Okay? Sometimes you gotta take all the tools out of the toolbox and figure out what works best for you where you are. Everything we do here might not fit somewhere else, but you know what works best where you are. And then you need to create those partnerships, because this is one day everything else gets set aside. Everything. Today we're collecting food and we're doing it jointly. So nothing that was going on last week day to day is going to impact what we're doing today, because the people who are counting on us really could care less about what we couldn't solve last week. And then they will have an exit meeting, like I said, and we'll begin building 2025's food drive. And it'll be bigger and better than this year's. I promise.
Branch 1's efforts paid off in a big way. They collected 423,000 pounds of food, up 60% over last year. And collectively, NALC branches brought in nearly 44 million pounds of food. Letter carriers, helping to feed their communities one bag at a time. NALC has always represented its members on issues that affect their rights on the job. But solidarity often stretches beyond the workroom floor. The NALC Disaster Relief Foundation was founded in 2018 in response to devastating natural disasters occurring across the country, from wildfires in California, to floods in Texas, to hurricanes in Florida and Puerto Rico. NALC members have donated generously to help their brothers and sisters in need. Since its founding, the Disaster Relief Foundation has distributed more than $2.2 million in direct aid to letter carriers and their families. NALC's formal community service efforts touch the lives of many, but letter carriers throughout the country also perform individual acts of service that have major impacts on their recipients. Such as Michael Ashley of Rochester, New York, Branch 210, who is a 2-time organ donor. The Army veteran donated a kidney to his adoptive father and part of his liver to a total stranger who was in need of a transplant. Matthew Duncan of Portland, Oregon, Branch 82, is also a kidney donor. The Marine Corps veteran responded to a sign posted along his route for a total stranger who was suffering from a life-threatening kidney disease. Devin Coy of Louisville Branch 14 has helped feed homeless people on Veterans Day since 2018. The Army veteran solicits donations from local restaurants, helping him multiply his efforts. And letter carriers Jeff and Debbie Knowlton of Toledo, Ohio, Branch 100 have served as foster parents since 2017, despite busy postal careers and having 4 children of their own. 8 children, from newborns to age 9, have found loving interim homes with the Knowltons. From supporting MDA, to letter carrier heroes, to food drive champions, and more. NALC members serve their communities every day with dedication and compassion.